Hello and welcome everybody, what is going on? So, I wanted to do this video about this specific topic because I feel like a lot of people, recently when the news came out about Boateng looking for a new challenge, looking to leave, and obviously Lewandowski looking to leave, a lot of people got furious. A lot of people saying, oh, well, if you don't have the motivation to do what you want to do here, then you should leave. You should only have players that are 100% interested in the club, 100% willing to give their all for the cause. And I would, me with my diplomatic approach, right? Yeah, I've been told that I'm very, very diplomatic, almost too diplomatic, because I'm always pretty much in the middle. But with this one, I'm really on the player side. I'm totally on the player side, and that's probably because I've got this. For me personally, I've got this viewpoint. Not like most people. Most people, they love players. They love the players. They are huge fans of the players. To me, it's always been about the club. And that's pretty much, of course, I've always had favourite players. My last big favourite player that's now retired was Lahm. And not because he's captain, but mostly because he was just consistent. To me, consistency is the key with everything. If you're consistent, you automatically become one of my favourite players. That's just the way I see it. But despite we're kind of getting off topic here, not about me. This is about the topic at hand, which is that it's okay for players to want to leave the club. And I know a lot of people will have mixed opinions on that. A lot of people will agree with me. A lot of people will say no. That's rubbish, to put it neatly. And I'm going to give you my take on this. I'm going to give you a real life example here as well, considering I've got a real life example in mind right now. So to me, to you, to the average folk, football is either a bunch of things, right? Either it's your life, it's all you really care about in your life, your main hobby, but also like you're on a hobby that you just, you're always surrounded with, a hobby that you're always interested in every single day. It's either just a normal hobby, you're just like watching it every time your team plays, you're watching it, you're like, you know what, that's pretty good. Or it is just something that you decided, I don't really care about football, I'm just whatever. I was born in the city, so I'll just support this team, whatever, but I don't really care. I'll watch maybe like the Champions League games, but besides that, I don't really care. There are a lot of different types of fans, right? Some are supporters, some are fans, call it what you want. I'm not really, it's not a video about that, alright? My point is, there are a lot of different types of people. Now, some people, to the people who really care about football and really care about the club, them having a player say something like I'm thinking about leaving, that is just nonsense. That's just almost seen as like a disgrace. Like, what? But the way I see it for the players, usually, unless you're a player watching this, and you can give a much better intake. If you're a player watching this, I don't think any player would be watching this, but if you are, you can give a much better intake in that. But to players, it's really just a job. It's a task, you go there, you get paid, and that's really it. You do your job. You might love football, but at the end of the day, the club itself is just a job. It's not, unless you're obviously a huge fan of the club itself. You were a fan of the club as a child. It is a job to you. It's not your life. Well, it is your livelihood because it's your job. You're making money from it, but it's not it's not all or nothing for you. You can still always go to a different club, make either the same money or more money or less money, and still play football. So that's why for me it's always been the case where, like, if a player wants to leave, you can leave. I've always been, I guess, in the favor of the players, for me personally. So, for example, Boateng saying, I can imagine moving just to seek a different challenge, to seek a different path. To me, I'm like, yeah, you know what, that's totally fair. If he wants to leave, fair enough. But if he wants to stay, even better, because he's a good player. But for me, I'm always on the side. If your player wants to leave, fair enough. There is nothing wrong with that in my eyes, because quite frankly, if it's either money or if it's a new challenge, fair enough. I don't see the big issue personally. I never seen the big issue. I do have some favorite players, but generally I don't really support players. I support the team. And that's a big distinction with how as a child, because as a child I used to support players, not so much the team, but now I support the team, not so much the players. For example, my last favourite player that just left or / retired was Lahm. But that's because that's more so consistency, his consistent performance, but that's a different topic, right? But the point is, like, players, they come and leave ultimately, either they retire or they leave to a different club. So for me, it's just a case of it's their job, it's their career. And ultimately they need to do what they think is best for either themselves or for their career. And if they don't see it at Bayern, then I wish them good luck at wherever they're going. Just not if they're playing against Bayern, because then I wish them bad luck. But yeah, I've always been on the side of the players, and a real life example of this would be like, say you have something in your life right now. Say you've got a very good job, say you're working a very good job. Say you've grew up, you always wanted to be a doctor, and you've got a very good job as, say, an executive manager at a company, and say you're making 200,000. Well, it depends on your currency, that's either a lot or that's nothing, but say you're making 200,000. Let's use euros, because obviously Bayern Munich is in Germany, which is in the EU, which uses euros. So let's say you're making 200,000 a year in euros, and it's a very good job. You like the people around you, the people around you, they're pretty cool. You're getting along with all of them. But like, you've been at the job now for, say, 5-6 years, which to some is a lot of time, but to others is no time at all. And you get another offer, just at a different company, just at a different position, and just totally different, just a totally different experience. And you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I've done all I can at my current job. There is no more progression. I've reached everything I can do. I'm the executive manager and whatnot. Maybe I should go to the other club to apply my skills there, or well, maybe I should go to the other job to apply my skills there, because it will be a new environment. It'll be, it'll kind of get me out of this just constant cycle of just like constantly the same thing, with little slight variations. So you know what? I'm thinking about that, and I feel like a lot of people have been in that situation before, where you're going through like the same thing every single day. A lot of people actually. School would be a good example. Like, you're going through school from like age 6 in most countries to like age 16 plus, 16, 18, 21, depending on obviously your country, 24 in some countries, of course. So you're going through like the same motion. You wake up, 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock and be there at 8 o'clock, or be there at 9 o'clock. You're doing that every single day for, for 10 years plus, right? And then you come to a point where you're like, you know what? I don't want to do school anymore. I want to work now. I want to do something different. And I feel like most people have been in that situation where you just go through the routine, and you're just waking up one day and you're just like, I want to do something different. I want to do something else. I don't want to be stuck in just this constant cycle. So for me, it kind of applies to the players as well, and that's why I always view it as okay. Now, a lot of you guys will probably agree with me. A lot of you guys will probably disagree with me. I think a lot of people can relate to my scenario, the one I've just given. But I think a lot of people don't agree with that for the players, because quite frankly, it's a club, it's a football club, it's sports. You need to be at your absolute best. But I don't think going through the motions and thinking about moving or thinking about a different environment is ultimately going to hamper your performance. And I don't think just because you're having thoughts about perhaps moving is going to really stop you from doing your best, because ultimately when you're in the game, when you're playing, when you're in the middle of a match or whatever, or middle of training, when you're in the middle of your football, that doesn't come up on your mind. You're not thinking I don't really care. You're thinking, I want to win this. At least most professionals do. And if you're a professional, then you're not going to get that far in a career unless you're a professional. So for me, it's always been a case of, I don't get like the big outcry when players are thinking about leaving. I get that some fans are like, I don't want to see the player leave and whatnot. I get that too, but most of the time I'm just like, you know what? Ultimately, if a player leaves, the club is going to bring in, or the club should bring in another player of substantial quality, of a similar quality. And players either leave or retire. There's many, or are forced to retire or move into management or whatever. And ultimately, it all comes down to the club stays, the players leave, and that's just the way it is, and that's just the way I see football. Ultimately, that's just my take on players wanting to leave and players and the club in general, really. But yeah, if you have a different opinion, obviously share that in the comment section down below. Now, of course, a lot of people say, because obviously the topic, the reason why I made this video really was because of Boateng and Lewandowski. And actually today, funny enough, because I had this plan for the whole week set up of what video I'm going to do for each week. But yesterday or today, like, news came out about Vidal, that where basically I think it was Build or Kicker that said that we'll sell Vidal if Vidal wants to leave, but if he doesn't want to leave, we'll keep him. So kind of fits in with that as well. So ultimately, you know, if kind of have a perfect topic really. So just from that perspective, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you guys think ultimately. You know, tell me what your thoughts are on this topic ultimately. I think tomorrow we're gonna do a Manuel Neuer season review or season overview, season discussion, really, call it what you want. We're gonna go through like every single player of the team by, I think, do we go by position or do we go by squad number? Let's go by squad number. So Manuel Neuer obviously being number 1, he will be tomorrow. I'll see you guys then tomorrow, and until then everyone, peace out and have a nice day.